The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Tablet 3. The Interpretation. The key of wisdom, containing some of the precepts given by Thoth to the barbarians, the children of Kim, was given so that the keys of light should not be lost to man. Wisdom and power walk hand in hand. Without both, either is useless and non-existent. For power is not created without wisdom, and wisdom is only attained through development and use of power. The proud person is not wise, but foolish, for pride causes the proud one to reject learning, for he measures all things by his own rule and standards. Silence is golden. Talking about evil turns the creative force upon it and gives it life and actuality. To attempt to rise beyond the law brings its own punishment, for nothing is beyond law, and the one who attempts to operate against law breaks himself against law. Fear should not be allowed to enter self. Neither should we create fear in another, for fear is bondage. If within our hearts we have kindness, then those of like harmony are attracted to us. If this is not the case, then that one is ruled by disorder. The commands of the master within are the ones to be followed. Do not attempt to objectively do more. Riches are a means to an end, not the end. When the material needs are supplied, the mind, the hearts of the ancients, should lead into higher realms. It is necessary to have a guide while on the path. Otherwise, one is led astray attempting to find an easier way. Love is the beginning and end of the path, for in love lies oneness. Thoth gave this especially to the tribes to inculcate the teachings of brotherhood and oneness. The person who comes in trouble finds relief in expressing himself. If he is hesitant, it is because the one to whom he has come has some flaw in his own nature which repulses. This statement is of great value. Extravagant speech always shows lack of balance, and it is harmful to either speak in such manner or listen, for most people are easily thrown off balance. Perfection is the only goal. You should not be satisfied with anything short of it. It is only lack of knowledge which prevents one from penetrating the veil behind which lies wisdom. Silence is the great key to advancement. Retain power within thyself in silence. Make not yourself great, for all have potentially the same power. True greatness does not require self-praise. Let others acknowledge your greatness, which is recognized by your attitude toward your fellow man. Each person finds a reflection of his own nature in the one before him. Therefore, listen not to the things others may say about a person. Only by examining his mind and his attitude towards his fellow can you find his true nature. If you store knowledge, do not withhold from one in need who earnestly asks. All are friends who seek the same goal. Do not let the words of an ignorant fool affect thee. Only the ignorant are affected by the ignorant. The vibrations from the mind of a person are perceptible. Words are not necessary. Thoth again gives a discourse on the mysteries, giving keys and symbols for interpretation by those who are ready. The immaterial part of man's nature, the soul, must be separated from man's material nature, the flesh, before it can go into the light of the cosmic sun. The soul is the fire, while the flesh is akin to earth. Each returns to its source. The inner fire penetrates to all planes in which the great fire manifests, including the material. Earth being dense supports within a limited range even the fire of the soul. Otherwise, the soul being infinite would change finite earth to an infinite thing. It is the development of consciousness which allows the eye to see color and light. The infinite fire, developing and changing eternally, also develops the perceptions. Man is a changing fire, never the same. Thus he ever advances from day to day until he rises above the darkness, which does not change while it is still darkness. However, darkness becomes so infused with fire that it ceases to be darkness. Strife, hatred, and fear are the results of darkness. Freedom from darkness eliminates these. Name and form, otherwise individual separation, cease to exist in the full light of awakened consciousness. The creative ability comes with the opening of the third eye and are the effects of the training required to fully open that eye. Man attains only through effort and experience, for such are the purifying agents which cleanse the dross of darkness from the soul. Materiality is but an unconscious form of manifestation of consciousness. Thus, in the final analysis, materiality and immateriality are one. Nothing that is material is fixed. It is constantly passing through change. This is its path from creation onward. Man adds a consciousness to this law of nature. Law, in its final analysis, is all that exists. All other things are fantasies and illusions formed in the minds of those without knowledge. Wisdom comes only to those who seek her. You must take the first step and then continue to walk forward. The halls of death beneath the halls of the flower of life contain the reflection of souls of men. It was there that Thoth could read the story of man's advancement from darkness to light. A seeming paradox is contained in the words brought from the future of infinity's end. The torch-bearer of insupportable brightness is the beginning and the end of all things, for as all things proceeded forth from it, so in the end they must return to it, thus completing the circle. In the torch-bearer, the eventual is conceived. Thus the plan is known to the direct emanation, the Lords. The seven is the title of the Lords of the cycles beyond us, each called by the number of his cycle in its relationship to the I-Yod. Coming from cycles beyond this, they are part of the absolute essence of each of these cosmic consciousnesses. They are bound to neither life nor death, for their activity is controlled directly by the Yakama. Thus their life is not the life of emanations from a cosmic cycle, as they are not dependent on spirit for manifestation. The Logos, meaning word or reason, is an emanation from the lords of each cycle. Always remember that there is a lord of this cycle also not included in the seven, as it is literally an emanation of our reason from the I-Yod. As this comes along the Yakama, they are the central cell through which it flows. They are vast in countenance, for they extend into all cosmic spaces, yet are small because they are centered in form. 3. The Lord of the cycle just beyond us is the custodian of those things which directly affect mankind. He is responsible for the entrance of the negative, and it is through his power that the reflections of the souls of men were focused in the halls of the dead. The flow and direction of that force, which we know as life force, is controlled by the Lord of Four. Some of the greater forces, such as death, are drawn from Four, a cycle where life ceases to be. That is as we know life. The lords of each have their function, affording entrance into this cosmic space, and powers which they have developed in their own progress through space. This is stepped down and transmitted through the lords, each giving of what he has to those below. The fifth is guardian of the word, opening the final gate when man is ready for it. 6, 7, and 8 have charge of certain of the fixed skeletal frameworks of future time, while 9 takes charge of disorder after it becomes order. In a way, they are assistants to the cosmic consciousness, carrying out aspects necessary to the development of consciousness that this cosmic consciousness is not as yet capable of handling. In these numbers also lie a key to the word, but as yet this cannot be given. Attainment of it is indeed the attainment of life and light. Peace and blessings to you all.